What you are about to see are what we call laser coaching sessions. These are special 10 to 15-minute sessions, so they're pretty short, but we get to dig into one topic with a circuit sales system student at a pretty in-depth level. Now, even if you have a different business than the person that we're talking to, I would still encourage you to listen because I am positive that you will also get a big takeaway for your business. So enjoy.
I am Carolyn Robistow, and I help entrepreneurs go through two separate phases in building their business. And the first one, very unexpectedly, actually, is to get control of a regular drinking habit so that it's not putting a handbrake on their energy, their motivation, their ability to follow through on these super important tasks that they're very excited about. But it kind of sucks their will to take forward steps with it. So we first get the alcohol habit under control. And that's the course I'm currently building my circuit for. And then the follow-up course is one about using similar techniques to deal with mindset issues that then come up once the alcohol is no longer a problem. So I'll build that circuit next. I know exactly where I'm freaking stuck, and it's the pricing.
Oh, okay.
And I have redone it a gazillion times on that one worksheet. I'm like, is it this? Is it this? Because when I did it, and then it was like, is this, 10 to whatever times the value? And I was like, no, it's not even close. It was like maybe 2 times the value. So I'm struggling with.
Value is tricky though, because here is, so you're saying that the value is, so your program is, I'm just off the top of my head, your program is $500 and you're saying the value is 1,000.
Essentially. And I've got it now to where the value I've worked out in my head, it is a lot more. But even then, I feel a little bit sticky about it. Like, am I just inflating this?
Well, here's the thing. The way I think of it is we almost, especially when we're selling to business owners, we almost have to deflate the value because the true value, especially for a program like yours, the true value is gigantic. If you get someone to cut back on alcohol so that they're sleeping better, so that they are, which means, and then in addition to that, they're more effective. I mean, that could have thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not even truly millions of dollars of impact on their business.
Right.
I mean, and you get to that point, you're like, well, I can't tell them it's worth $2 million.
Yes, so that's where I'm hung up.
Scale back the value and say this is, but at the same time too, and you probably don't remember this from the CSS video, but I do say something along those lines of like, and actually when you're done with your video, you'll have the opportunity to watch a couple of our other light bulb videos for our other courses. Which I definitely don't recommend you watch until you've done your own. But you can say, once you've gone through the whole value, you can say, and the value is X. I said, you can say, quite honestly, the value is probably 10 times that when you actually look at how drinking is affecting you and how it's affecting your time usage. And the honest truth is that the value could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I understand that that's hard to wrap your mind around. So we'll go with this. But in terms of how it impacts your business, the value is so like ethereal.
Yes.
But really the true value, hundreds of thousands of dollars at least.
Mm-hmm. Right? And I think that's where I get it. Like, it feels so easy with business stuff to say you could make XYZ, but I almost feel like that's such a big jump. Like, to go from you are struggling to not use a glass of wine to unwind every night to also your business is going to grow.
Even if you can break down, like when you get into the real world pricing context, you could even play with the numbers of like, all right, it's been scientifically proven that even just one glass of wine is going to disrupt your sleep X number of times, or is going to decrease your productive sleep X number of hours. And we found that sleeping, X amount of time less means that your productive time is this much less productive. If, let's say, your work in a day is equal to even 500, or whatever. Here's what that wine is costing you in a week. Here's what that wine is costing you in a year. And that's
I love it.
Okay. Could have produced, which is really nice too, because then you're getting into like, I'm not making this stuff up. Scientific studies have proven that this is exactly what happens. And I think that's going to be because we all do that, right? We all have a little extra one. I mean, you are obviously better at that now. So many of us business owners.
I have spent so much time doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Have an extra. Oh, it was a rough day, and that first glass of wine felt so good. So I'm just gonna have the second one, and then from there, sometimes it's the third, and then it's a bottle, so just finish it. And then at least half of your day is like useless, is shot.
Yeah.
And if you can really help people quantify that, and
That's
even
it.
just a glass of wine, which was heartbreaking for me to hear. Do you listen to the Huberman Lab podcast?
The person who said, "Hey, can we get on the phone?" at the end of our conversation said, "If you haven't heard this podcast yet," I'm like, "No, I know it's perfect. It is perfect." Given my desire for people to hear it, but yes, it is heartbreaking.
Exactly. Given my desire to like, it's practically healthy. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
yeah. But just it's.
Her words were, "We're ruining wine." Or no, that was my client yesterday. She was like, "We're ruining wine." I was like, "We're ruining the illusion of wine."
Exactly. Well, it's practically like going to the gym.
I know.
We all knew that was the truth, but I really like to believe it. Yeah.
Can't unknow it. But yeah, no, that's perfect. Because I think what I was trying to do was quantify what you're spending on wine versus how quickly you recap that,
which you can. I mean, you can, because I think
it's just not as sexy.
A lot of people go first, and maybe you can even say that. Maybe you can even say, when you're thinking about this program, maybe you're thinking to yourself, trying to figure out the numbers, being like, well, I guess I'll save money on wine, but that's not what I want you to focus on. What I want you to focus on is the actual, the really important stuff, and the actual literal day-to-day impact on your business and your business's potential.
You are so good at this. You are so good at this.
And also too, like the slower that they're going now, if they're drinking now and that's slowing them down, it's not just slowing them down now, it's slowing their progress. It's like compounding interest, right? Slowing down their progress in the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes. Perfect. Okay. That was so helpful. That is truly where I was stuck. And then also I got in my head about how big of a jump to make with the fast action versus not. Mm-hmm. And I think I was a little bit like, oh, I don't like that. I wanted it to be one price or another price, and then realizing that was too big of a jump, maybe.
Yeah. What, if you feel comfortable, do you want to share?
Well, it was at the fast action was at $9.97, and then I had the later price at $14.97, just because that's how I had it priced separately before. It was like, this is the group price, this is the individual price.
Yeah.
And so when that was just such a big jump, I was like, do I bring down my later price, or do I just increase my fast action price? So I did both. I met in the middle on both. I bumped up the fast action and bumped down the later one. And I was like, that works. That's fine.
Yeah.
I can always change it later.
Exactly. Right. That's the nice thing. The actually, like, changing your prices or making any tweaks, it's like re-recording that part of the video and then like making changes on your sales page,
Yeah.
What I have found is that the bigger the difference between the two, if there's a big difference between the two, you're going to see a lot more fast actions. You'll see some regular price, and you will see them all spread out, of course, over the first sales section, the second sales section, and all that kind of stuff. But the closer they are, you're not going to see quite as huge of a difference between fast action and regular price, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, And you may get people, I would expect you're going to get people who are like, yes, I need to do this now, and who are going to be very convinced in your video. And then you're going to get some people who are like, I think I might be ready to do this eventually. And then
they'll say like, I'll do it with dry January. They'll push it off till the next like socially acceptable time. Like, no, that's for my New Year's resolution, or no, that's going to be sober October.
Which is nice, because then you can also, that makes for like a very perfect fast action. And I don't, you probably haven't gotten there yet, but the enhancements we talk about, what we do, not fast action, Black Friday.
Right. No, I'm not there.
We don't do sales and any of our brands. It's like, we don't, that's disingenuous, anyway. But what we do for Black Friday on the copywriting brand is we have a free event for students at the beginning of December about like setting your year up. We make a workbook. They'd love it. And we say, okay, we send just to the people who are currently on the list and haven't like pulled the trigger yet. Say, all right, this is, first of all, it's your probably your last chance to get in before the end of the year. But if you don't get in now, you're going to miss out on this free event. And so we get a nice little bump in Black Friday. And it's only to people who are already on the list, but like a special opportunity for them to get in. And
I love that. And that's already in the program. I'll get to that eventually. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's all in the enhancements. It's like you get your fundamental circuit done, and then you're like, and then I could add this, and then I could add this. But I think that'd be so good for you.
Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative of all the things.
Oh, thank you. I'm so appreciative. Okay, well then I will see you in the group and on the calls.
Absolutely. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. Do you want to learn how to sell and scale your offer on autopilot every single day without the chaos of live launching or the low conversions of Evergreen? Who doesn't, right? Get our free on-demand video training at circuitsalessystem.com/free. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to make sure you never miss a video. We'll catch you next time.